Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. We have the CEO here of Surterra Wellness, Marcus Ruark, and he's going to be showing us a little presentation today and also taking some of your questions. So let's see here, Marcus, whenever you're ready to go ahead and start showing that video.
All right, thank you, Ashley. Thanks for having us here today, and thank you everyone who's listening in now or in the future. I really appreciate you investing some time to learn more about Surterra, Texas. I do have a short video. It's about 2 minutes long, and then I've got a presentation, but feel free to type in questions whenever they come up or whenever you have them. And as we go through the presentation today, it is really intended to be a Q&A. So if you have questions, please ask them. Ashley will let me know, and I'll answer them. And if there are no questions, that's fine. We've done these before. We've got some questions that folks typically ask, so I can ask myself some questions and give you answers for those. So let's see if I can get the technology to work on my end and do this video here. I guess I gotta share the screen first. So let's do that. Oh, maybe I've already shared the screen. Here we go. Share screen. Share audio. Share screen. All right. So I've got a PowerPoint presentation here that I'll go through, but again, any questions, please ask them, and let's see if I can get this to work here. Ashley, let me know if there's any problems with seeing this.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm getting some audio. There we go, it just got quiet. So we are Surterra, Texas. You can see where our website is there and how to reach us. We also have a Facebook page, so I'll talk more a bit about that later. We started cultivation in 2018 and started delivering to our first patients last year in 2019. We're 100% made in Texas, cannabis-based medicines, and we've been very active recently in terms of new product introductions. We launched our first in Texas cannabis-infused lozenges in September. So again, we're the first ones in the state to do so. And then we just launched lotions, cannabis-infused lotions, earlier this month. Some of the things we focus on here in the state is providing the #1 patient experience here in Texas. We're extremely focused on our patients and providing a fantastic set of medicines and fantastic experience. We're also very focused as a company on research, development, and innovation. Surterra, Texas has, again, we're 100% based in Texas, but we are part of a larger company called Parallel that operates medical cannabis dispensaries in Florida, in Massachusetts, also in Nevada. And we recently received a medical cannabis research license in the state of Pennsylvania, where we're partnered with UPMC, which is one of the top academic research institutions in the world for medical research. So it's a very exciting development. But as you can see by these different these first in Texas product launches we've done, we're just constantly trying to bring the best medicines to the patients in Texas and the best form factors and means of dosing and taking your medicine. We're part of the compassionate use program in the state of Texas. The compassionate use program was initiated back in 2015, and I think the rules came out in 2017, and that's when we received our medical license. And we're one of 3 companies in the state of Texas that can cultivate low THC medical cannabis and bring these medicines to our patients. Here's just some images of our current products that we offer. We started in the state. For those of you who are Surterra, Texas customers, you first came to know us probably for our Tranquil tincture. That's a high CBD, 19-to-1 ratio CBD to THC. And then earlier this year, we came out with Soothe and Serene. These are one is a 4-to-1 ratio, one is a 1-to-1 ratio. So this is how many of our patients got to know us. There you see the lozenges in the middle of the screen. We've got a 1-to-1 ratio of CBD to THC in the Soothe line, and then Relief is a 1-to-9. It's the first THC dominant medicine in the state of Texas. And depending on everybody's different when it comes to cannabis medicines and dosing and CBD and THC, but this Relief lozenge really gives prescribing doctors some great options in terms of mixing CBD and THC ratios. And then, as I mentioned, we just launched lotions. So you see the 1-to-1 and the 19-to-1 lotions there in the bottom right-hand corner. It's not a long presentation. I just wanted to make sure I had some key points I could address. And like I said, after this, we'll move into Q&A. One of the things we're very focused on here, as I mentioned, is our patient experience. And part of that is offering the most compassionate pricing in the state of Texas. So if you look at the price of our medicines compared to our peers in the state, we've got the best pricing. And that was important for us to do because we're cognizant that insurance does not cover yet medical cannabis, and so you're paying for this in cash or out of your own pocket. And it was really important to us to be able to bring this medicine to patients in Texas at the best possible pricing. We also have some very nice and helpful discounts. We have a 15% first-time patient discount. If you're a second-time patient, so for your second order, it's a 20% discount. And then we always have a 15% military families discount. We also have free delivery available, and we will do contactless delivery upon request. So I think, you see all those things in combination there. I think you get a good sense of the approach we're trying to take for folks here in Texas. We did just launch a Facebook page a couple of weeks ago. I would encourage you to swing by, follow the page, like the page. We share a lot of announcements on that page, promotions, new product launches, testimonials, and different events that we're participating in. And this is how you can reach us. Of course, our website at surterra.com/Texas, our Facebook page down there, and then our phone number. So I'm going to switch back to video now and see if we can do this here. And then see if, Ashley, if any questions have come up. Oh, actually, I can't hear him. I'm sorry.
It says, what does CBD actually do to help the brain? And that's Lauren asking us.
Hi, Lauren. Thank you for the question. Well, it's interesting. If you saw that video at the start, one of the most important systems that we have in our bodies is the endocannabinoid system. We call it ECS for short. it was only recently discovered in the last 30 years. It was discovered in the 1990s. And this is an incredibly important system. I like to call it the sort of the conductor of all of your body's other systems. And there's different receptors in your endocannabinoid system. There's naturally occurring cannabinoids and cannabinoids in your body. And if your endocannabinoid system is out of whack, if things aren't as they should be, cannabinoids coming from the plant, the cannabis plant, can actually help and supplant or help when there's an absence of some of those naturally occurring cannabinoids, and bring your endocannabinoid system back in alignment. And that just has so many benefits for so many different conditions that we as humans experience. But I do find it fascinating that it was only discovered in the 1990s, and even today, when I talk to doctors, it's not frequently taught in med school. So one doctor I talked to estimated about 10% of medical schools are teaching people about, future doctors, about the ECS, which is just an incredibly important system in our body.
Okay, so we don't have any questions on any other questions currently, but I know you have some prepared.
Sure. So a common question we get: how can I become a patient, or how can my family member become a patient? It's actually a pretty simple process here in the state of Texas, provided you can find a doctor that is registered in the Compassionate Use Program of Texas and can prescribe medical cannabis. We have a telehealth link on our website. It makes it very easy to find a doctor, and thankfully the state of Texas has enabled telehealth for the Compassionate Use Program. So you're able to see a doctor online from the comfort of your home, all over video, and get a prescription that way. To be a patient, you have to have one of the qualifying conditions. Of course, epilepsy is, as are seizure disorders. And there are a lot of neurologists in the program. And like I said, if you can access our telehealth link, that makes it pretty easy to sign up and become a patient. And then it's a matter of contacting a dispensary like Surterra, Texas, and placing an order for your medicine. And it's pretty simple. We have online shopping. We have delivery to your door. I think we make it pretty easy to become a patient in the program. And as I noted, a lot of different product formats, tinctures, lozengers, and lotions.
So we have another question here. Lauren is asking, does it help with brain cell regrowth?
I don't know that I've seen studies specifically on that topic. Be curious if you've seen some or want to share some to the Facebook stream. One thing is certainly true. There's a lot more research opportunity with cannabis and cannabinoids, and there's still a lot left for everyone to learn. It's one of the reasons I stressed our partnership with UPMC, one of the top-ranked academic medical institutions. We're going to be doing some fascinating research with the doctors and scientists at UPMC. I'm excited to start doing that. I've talked about, as you saw in the video and on this live stream, about CBD and THC. The cannabis plant actually has, it seems to grow every month, but over 130 different cannabinoids. And we know the most about two of them, CBD and THC. Still a lot to learn about those two, but the other 128 plus cannabinoids need a lot more research. And it's just an exciting and fascinating field to be in. And the understanding that each of these cannabinoids can help in certain ways and certain conditions is really encouraging.
Okay, and then we have another question from Kim. She says, would you please explain the difference between CBD, CBG, CBDA, etc.?
Well, first of all, I think we're only scheduled for this for 30 minutes, so I love this topic and could certainly spend a lot of time on it. These are naturally, well, as I mentioned, our bodies produce these cannabinoids, part of our endocannabinoid system. But they're also in the plant. And when they're in the plant, they're called phytocannabinoids. The plant produces two main branches of cannabinoids. There's the CBG side, and there's CBGVA. And those are two, you can almost think of them as the stem cells of cannabinoids. And then from each of those lines comes the different cannabinoids we're aware of. The A means it's the acidic form of the cannabinoid. That can turn into the version without the acidic form. So CBDA converts to CBD, CBGA converts to CBG, etc. There's a THCA that converts to THC. Each of these has a different, of course, molecular structure, and each of them has a different interaction with the endocannabinoid system. You've probably also heard about the entourage effect. It's something that also needs continuing study, but all of those 130 cannabinoids, and there's also terpenes, which all play together to affect our bodies and our endocannabinoid system. We actually are, I think, pretty thoughtful about our products, and in addition to the ratios of CBD to THC, we also have targeted terpene profiles in our tinctures, and there's also research around terpenes and the impact they can have on our bodies. So we've created these targeted terpene profiles for different effects for our tincture line. And we have very positive patient testimonials from them, and I think doctors are very excited, are very happy to see that we took that into account when designing these medicines.
Okay, so there's no other questions currently, but if you have more of those, pre-written questions.
I sure do. So we get a question about how to take these medicines and when. Of course, listen to what your doctor is telling you in the conversation with your doctor and what your doctor is prescribing. One of the benefits of having these different product lines and formulations and form factors is you can find a treatment regimen where you're maybe taking one medicine at the start of the day and something in the evening, where maybe one is good for daytime use and one is better in the evening. And it's also true that in terms of how your body metabolizes these medicines, it also can matter when you're taking it in relation to when you've had your meal or not. So these are all kinds of things to explore when you start to get on a regimen of medical cannabis. And again, just have those conversations with your doctor and find what works best for you. One of the other phrases we use quite a bit is start low and go slow. So most doctors we're seeing in the state of Texas are prescribing with a lower dose and then working your way up to find something that's working reliably for you.
Okay, so we have another question from Lauren. She says, what is an isolate?
So an isolate means that there's just, in layperson's terms, just one thing in there, just one thing. So in the journey of how we create medicines from the cannabis plant, we're extracting the cannabinoids from the plant, much like it's different than, but similar to how one might brew a cup of coffee, right? You're extracting the coffee from the ground beans. So we're extracting cannabinoids, and there's other plant materials too, but from the plant. We then go through various purification steps, including distillation, to get to a very pure oil, very pure cannabis oil. But it still has, it has a mix of terpenes, CBD, and THC in it. The next step, if we wanted to, would be to create an isolate, and that is where you just pull out the CBD or just pull out the THC from that distillate. There is CBD isolate that one can buy. Again, I would say listen to your doctors and what their experience is. It could be useful, but it lacks any ability to have the entourage effect, right? Because it's just one thing. You're not getting CBD plus THC plus terpenes. You're just getting pure CBD. Okay, one of the questions we get sometimes is how do I pay for this medicine? I alluded to earlier that there's no insurance for this, but we try to provide as many payment options as possible. So there's some online payment options that we have. There's cash payments. We try to we prefer the online payment or the electronic payments because it just in this current environment we're in, it can be very helpful for contactless delivery, and certainly our patients who are immunocompromised appreciate that we've got these electronic payment methods. Ashley, did I see a chance that you might have another question for me?
No, there are no other questions right now. If you guys have a question for Marcus, just drop it down in the comments and he'll be happy to answer it for you.
Sometimes, what's the best way to store medicine? That's an easy one. I would say, keep all of our medicines, all these product form factors in a cool, dark, dry place. That's just I suppose good common sense for all kinds of medications. But don't leave them in your car. There's no reason to get these things up to Texas heat, in car heat levels. But I think that's true of pretty much everything here in the state of Texas. How long does it take to receive the medicine? We get that question sometimes. We are our mobile wellness coordinators, and if you're current customers, I know you appreciate this already and aware of this already. They are fantastic and incredibly helpful, and we deliver. We've done emergency Saturday deliveries, for instance. So we're delivering, and we schedule deliveries a couple days in advance, but our team's very capable, and we can turn things around pretty quickly if you've got any kind of emergency situations or you're running out of medicine faster than you thought you might have. Let's see, is it possible to have a bad reaction to cannabis? Again, everybody's system is different, but in general, cannabis is one of the safest medicines that there is. It's safer than certainly safer than alcohol. That to my knowledge, there's been no deaths from cannabis overdoses ever. So which is one of the reasons, by the way, that it's becoming so accepted and popular as a medical product across the nation. It's just it's in general a safer way to treat things, and certainly safer than opioids. So that's one of the reasons I think myself and my entire team is so fortunate and happy to be in a company like Surterra, Texas, where we're able to bring effective medicine to people who need it, and also safe medicine to people who need it. It's very fortunate to be able to do that.
Well, I have a question. What types of epilepsy usually is CBD used to treat? Do you have to have a specific diagnosis?
You don't, and thanks for asking the question. You don't, and it's again, I believe the way the state describes it is epilepsy is one treatable condition, and seizure disorders is another way that it's listed in the statute. So I think they've made it pretty flexible. The state also made it much easier to prescribe. For those of you who helped get this program started back in 2015, or who have watched the evolution of the program over the years, back when we started dispensing, you had to have you had to see two neurologists and have a prescription from both neurologists, and both of them had to be experts in and familiar with treating epilepsy. So it was a pretty high bar. But these days, since 2019, the program was updated that now you just need a prescription from one registered doctor, and in the case of epilepsy, a neurologist, a board-certified neurologist. So they've made it much easier to participate in the program, which is a really good thing, because and again, I hope, if we've got folks on this live stream who are benefiting from it, I think you could certainly say this, but we hear testimonials from our patients all the time about how much better things have become once they're on the medicine. Everything from just better sleep, less anxiety, just really better lives, and it's just really fortunate when it works so well, and that we get to hear those testimonials. You can imagine again our mobile wellness coordinators, they get to have these conversations with patients and patient families, and it's just really rewarding to be able to do. I'll add that again, I see one of these other points here with the tinctures. The dosing experience is important, and earlier this year, when we refreshed our line of tinctures, we introduced some natural mango melon flavor, and that's been very popular. And obviously, when you're delivering medication to a child of yours, it helps to have pleasant tasting medicine. So we were pretty excited to have that opportunity earlier this year. We also have easier to use droppers in our tinctures now, so it's easier to dose the medication or to consume the medication than it had been. It had been sort of a micro syringe. We still make those micro syringes available upon request if that's something that you prefer, but the eyedropper approach we've taken in the tinctures has been really warmly received as well.
So not a question, but we do have a comment. Lauren says it has come such a long way in regards to, I think, the legislation on CBD and what it should treat.
So true. And again, I know this community is very active and supportive. And frankly, I don't know that. I mean, eventually Texas might have had some sort of medical cannabis program, but it was this community that led the way and made this happen back in 2015. So, I mean, really, for all the patients across Texas, that's a pretty nice thing to be able to say, right? Because now, in addition to epilepsy, we've got multiple sclerosis, autism, a lot of neurological diseases. So it's really expanded since 2015. And we're working with the state, and obviously there's additional improvements we can make, and we've got another legislative session coming up in early 2021, and it'd be great if we can keep the program expanding.
Okay, well,
looks like we had just about 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
Any more questions come in? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this live. I know that definitely our people down in the coastal bend appreciate, our sponsors coming on and answering questions they have. If you guys haven't already registered, go ahead and head over to walktoendepilepsy.com to register for the Walk to End Epilepsy Coastal Bend. And thanks to Surterra Wellness for being a sponsor for all 4 of our walks. That support means a lot to us. So thank you so much for that.
You're very welcome. We're just so pleased to have this opportunity, and thank you for hosting us today. And if there are additional questions you have, because of course, why wouldn't you, right? There's so many questions that can come to mind when you're talking about medical cannabis. Please go to our Facebook page and ask questions, or reach out to us, give us a call. Happy to answer any questions you have, and would love, if you're not currently a Surterra, Texas patient, we'd love to be able to help you and your family.
Okay, well.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a great day.